want to introduce my PhD proposal, the importance of interprofessional education during placements in primary care to increase interprofessional collaboration. I have a wonderful team I want to present to you first, and it's Diana Dolmans. Diana Dolmans and Jascha de Nooijer, they both work for the University of Maastricht. And Diana Dolmans is a full professor on the Faculty of Health, Medicine and Life Sciences. And Jascha de Nooijer is an associate professor and the director of Education for Health. I want to say thank you, Diana, thank you, Jascha, for the support and the guidance during this process. So now to the proposal. What is the problem? I'm a teacher in Belgium, and you can wonder why a teacher from Belgium comes to University Maastricht to write a PhD proposal. So in Belgium we have the University of Vives, the Vives University College of Applied Sciences, and we have 13,500 students to train every year, and in 3 locations, which you see on the picture, Roeselare, Kortrijk and Bruges, we train those healthcare professionals, future healthcare professionals. And I was asked to implement IPE, interprofessional education, within those 3 locations for our healthcare students. So, what were the reasons for this implementation? It is a complex societal and multidimensional problem in primary care, and it really needs an interprofessional team approach. So those are the 2 factors that contribute the school is supporting this PhD proposal and even to eventually the PhD. So when I looked up to literature, I saw that interprofessional education will provide students essential skills for knowledge for IPC, that we need to make choices to strengthen them for the challenge that is waiting for them in primary care for our students, and the implementation of IPE in curricula is favorable when preparing students for IPC. So we were convinced, and the University College of Bruges, Roeselare and Kortrijk made a decision. They want to support the students for future tasks in primary care. So what we were struggling with was, how can students work together as professional healthcare workers if they don't learn together at school? So what is the gap? I did some research and I read a lot, I assure you, and I discovered there were some crucial elements missing in order to design such an IPE intervention and make it work. So what are those crucial aspects? Crucial aspects of effective interprofessional teamwork in primary care settings are obscure, and there is an urgent need to investigate these crucial elements for effective teamwork, and only a few number of these studies have observed data to explore the complex phenomena of interprofessional teamwork in primary care. So I was convinced. But what do we need? Although there is a lot of evidence about the topic of interprofessional collaboration and the advantages related to this topic, we still need an evidence-based framework on the effectiveness of IPE and insight into the process that contributes IPE in curricula for undergraduate healthcare students to train them in primary care. So, if we could reveal some of these aspects, it would be possible to enhance and to design an educational intervention in primary care that is evidence-based, and which could be implemented in curricula for healthcare students. So I think it's very important. What is the context? So, they asked me to design an intervention for implementation, but we were still struggling with the idea of implementing what. But we were discussing it, and we decided we could not wait any longer, and we have to start implementing something. And we gave birth to an intervention in primary care, because it is important to take healthcare students to real-world experience outside the classroom in a social context of collaborative and experiential learning, because in situ training like this educational program is recognized as a great educational value, and research on how IPE interacts with teamwork and relates to the interprofessional collaboration during that teamwork in primary care remains undiscovered. So I thought we found the gap. From this idea, we want to organize life labs. Life labs in primary care with real patients and real problems. And I first looked up in the literature and I found something I found quite interesting, and this is this loop model. This loop model becomes very important during this process, during the writing of this this proposal, and I would love to use some theory and add some requirements to design an intervention in primary care, and then implement it and analyze it to redesign it and so on. So that's what I wanted to do. So this loop model becomes very interesting. So the Ahura 1 project was born. Only one project this year in Houthulst, but next year we will do some more projects. And it is a team-based interprofessional practice placement in primary care, which involves 44 healthcare students for this moment, will become 200 or 300 students in future. From occupational therapists, dietetics, applied social studies, nursing, speech therapy, and so on, grouped with teachers, interprofessional teachers. One teacher assigned to a student group. So they are dealing with realistic societal problems from patients, and they frame it all by the International Classification of Functional Disability and Health Model of the WHO. So, as a methodology, we use the 4ICD model, which is very well known over here, and the principle of the whole task practice for complex learning. We have 5 main steps. Every step is a team discussion with patients, and which approach the patient-centered care, and each step needs a preparation. The preparation is twofold. On the one hand, we have the intraprofessional meetings with students and teachers, and on the other hand, we have the interprofessional meetings with students and teachers. Between every meeting, they receive feedback from the teacher to prepare the next step and the encounter with patients in primary care. So, if we want to do some research, we need some questions to be answered. And what questions do we want to be answered? We have an overarching research question: in what way can IPE, including undergraduate and professional student teams focusing on elderly person in primary care, support students to learn interprofessional team skills? And we have 4 studies, 4 research questions that will be answering the first question: what is the perceived effectiveness of the IPE intervention relating to task design and organizational context by team members including healthcare students, teachers, and elderly, because that's the team. How are the team processes during the IPE intervention perceived by healthcare students in order to enhance the team effectiveness? The third question is, what are the effects of the IPE intervention on an intra and interprofessional collaboration in order to enhance subjective outcomes perceived by students and teachers? And the last question we want to discuss is, what can the IPE intervention be adapted from the view of graduated healthcare students working in primary care? So, here you see the loop model, but it is the design-based research model of Diana Dolmans and Tegelaar, and we want to use it to look how well IPE works. And iterations will be adapted and retested to gather more data and to improve the IPE intervention. We also need a conceptual framework. And the conceptual framework we want to use is that one outlined by Lemieux, Charles, and Maguire. It's a conceptual framework that is specific for healthcare to help researchers to analyze the factors that influence team function and its capacity for effectiveness. But that's always the thing we are looking for. So if you look to the model, every research question can be adapted to, at some point to the model. So the 4 studies. The first study, what is the perceived effectiveness on the IPE intervention? By the team members, including healthcare students, teachers, and elderly, has the aim has the aim, to put some clarity on IPE, and can be designed in primary care to enhance the perceived effectiveness. The focus is on design of the MPE. The second study, it's all mixed method studies. The second study has the aim of to discover more about the key elements of interprofessional collaboration, to redesign the interprofessional education and enhance the team effectiveness. The focus is on how students can be trained for interprofessional collaboration through interprofessional teamwork. The third study has the aim to reveal interprofessional teamwork skills. It's go more specific into teamwork, and there is a lack of literature on this topic. The fourth study, has the aim to look and to reveal the effectiveness of IPE and pre and post status of different healthcare students, and to put the output, to use the output to redesign the IP intervention. So I think my time is over now. I just want to say, I know there are some arguments of that implementing IPE is in primary care is not so obvious. But I think education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. And why should we take this chance to discover the things we need and to face challenges for future students? Thank you.